And welcome to our Student Spotlight series. I'm joined today by Jamie Cullinan, who is in his final year of the BBA. So, Jamie, good to see you. Um, where are you from in the world, Jamie, and what was your pathway to the university?
Yeah, so I'm from Carlow originally. I was studying in Knockbeg College for my leaving cert. And originally, I found my way to Maynooth through just researching the various colleges that I would be looking to attend. And I just found Maynooth really interesting because of the campus and just the variety of course options. In particular, the arts course. While I didn't take it myself, I just thought that variety of being able to pick your subjects to be really interesting to me.
Yeah.
I did some research using Qualifax and the careers just on the various courses at Maynooth, and I eventually found out about marketing.
In school, was business a favorite subject of yours, or what was deciding you on that particular area of study?
Yeah, I guess the main ones that I did that I really enjoyed were accounting and economics, and then I also did link modules as well. So all those business sort of modules I did enjoy. I knew I wanted to do something down the path, and I eventually found marketing to be the one I enjoyed the most.
So you were there, you were looking away on Qualifax and Careers Portal and going, did you go to open days as part of your research?
Yeah. I attended one open day and I got to do a campus tour, which was great. That really drew me in. And then I was able to talk as well with some of the people that were studying marketing and teaching marketing and just get a bit more of an idea.
So did you think that you were going to commute then to the university, or were you looking at moving to it's far enough that maybe you might live here, but you could also commute?
Yeah, originally I was planning to commute because there is some bus options from Carlow, but eventually I decided to get into digs with a friend. So I was just staying off campus in a room in someone else's house for my first year.
So with the MH404 degree that you chose, there are a few different streams within that. So did you kind of know that you wanted to take the marketing stream, or did you spend those few weeks seeing what was available in the different subject areas?
Yeah, I did look at all of them there, and I was a bit indecisive at first. I was considering management or international business, but eventually I decided marketing because someone mentioned at the open day that there was a bit of leeway in terms of changing between the streams. And I knew that marketing was what appealed to me most at the time, and that I could change if needs be into management or international business.
So, but like, how do you know what marketing is as a student in school, or had you covered much of that in school? Because you're not expected when you come to university, in most degrees anyway, to have studied the particular area before. You don't have to have studied business in school to study business in Maynooth University. So, why did you think marketing might be the one for you?
Well, I kind of looked into what marketing was in general. I did some general research on what it really meant and what some of the things you might be studying into it was. And I just found it really interesting. It was kind of to do with like how you advertise to people, how you get people to choose like one product over another. And I just found like, I guess the psychology side of things really interesting while still being like business based.
In terms of your day to day, then you arrived on the university, you chose to the university, you chose marketing, and what does an average week? I know you're in your final year now, but can you remember back in first year what was a kind of an average week like for you?
Yeah, in my first year at least, my first week I did have a bit more free time compared to now. So I'd attend my lectures and I would have some tutorials as well. So I'd attend those. I'd spend some time with my friends. Like there's loads of kind of spots you can chill around. So say for example the students' union, we would meet and we'd just sit down and talk, or they have the pool table there. And I'd do that, and then I'd be in some club and society. Say I was in the business society at the time as well. So there was plenty to do and plenty of different clubs and societies to attend, is what I
You,
found.
did you have many friends from school, or did you get to know people here pretty easily, or how did you find that?
I had two friends who came from school that I did have going into the degree, but then I also met some friends in my course, and then also through the clubs and societies as well.
Very good. So in terms of then the academic side of it, the workload in the first year, is everybody studying the same thing pretty much, or do you have much choice in terms of what you can study?
In first year, there wasn't a large amount of choice, but I think the idea is that you get a taste of each of the different parts of business. So say, for example, I had some accounting modules and some economics modules as well. And the idea is if I enjoyed those modules a lot, I could transfer into accounting or economics. So there wasn't much choice in first year, but it did give me a taste of accounting and economics, which I feel like I enjoyed as well as marketing.
And like, were you doing lots of assignments or were there lots of exams or how did that break down?
There was a good mix of different assignments. So I had a good few group projects, which was just working with a group towards a report usually. But I'd also have like in-class tests or MCQs as well. So it'd just be like multiple choice question exams during the semester. And then for most of my modules, I had an end of semester exam as well.
Okay, and how did you find those? Were they challenging or did you get on okay with those?
They were a bit challenging, but I just put the head down and I made sure to read over the lecture slides and just make sure I took into account whatever was mentioned. It was a bit of a struggle, but I got through it.
Is it a very different skill set that you need, like at university compared to school, if you can remember what, the type of teaching and learning that you have in school versus in college, and what's expected of you as a student in college?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few like different parts. In general, you're well accustomed or you're well brought into it by your lecturers. They're all kind of aware that you're only just coming from secondary school. One of the main things I noticed straight away was that there was no attendance for my lectures, and it was all just you were expected to come, and there was no one checking if you weren't, for example. So you really had to stay on top of making sure you attended all your lectures and tutorials. But in general, there is a bit of understanding that you're only a first year and that you do get a bit more leeway than, say, for example, I would now in final year.
Yeah, so you're independent, but you do still have people you can go and talk to, and I'm sure you find this the academics in the School of Business would be approachable.
Yeah, yeah, like all the lecturers were really approachable and they were all just accepting of if you had any issues or needed any help. And then as well, there's usually academic reps for each class. So I think once or twice I talked with my academic rep just to make sure if I had any problems with the module, I could feedback those to the lecturer that way as well.
What's an academic rep now for those that don't know, including myself?
An academic rep is a representative for the class that is kind of in contact with the School of Business in terms of making sure that the student side of the experience is well accepted and that there's no issues with like if people are finding it hard to understand the content or if they're feeling that some parts aren't being explained too well. The academic rep kind of acts as a bridge between the students and the lecturers that way.
So are they a student or are they a member of staff?
They're a student, so they're still attending classes every other student, but they also help with sharing any frustrations that students have as well.
Very good. So they're elected then by the other students.
Yeah, yeah, they're elected.
So in terms of the clubs and societies that you joined, then your business, I guess, was a focus particularly, was it?
Yeah, yeah, that was kind of the main one I joined in first year. There was a few others I joined as well, like the chess one that I found really good for making new friends. But business will be the main one I attended events for in first year.
Great. And then do you have much time now for clubs and societies in your final year?
And nowadays, I'm struggling for time sometimes, but I am still a member of a few. So, say for example, I'm part of the tennis club now, Maynooth, and they're practicing 3 times a week. So sometimes I'll get time out with them. But for my final year now, it's just I don't have as much time as I did before.
Very good. So then you're making it's your 4 year degree for you because you took the opportunity to go in a work placement after second year. So could you tell us a little bit about that and how you came to get the work placement that you had?
Yeah. So in second year, we were approached and told that there was a fair happening for work placement or Erasmus. I attended this fair, and after the few talks that were there, I decided to go for a work placement. We had a weekly class with the placement office, and we were given help with our CVs, with interview advice, with application advice. So we did have some help and support with trying to find somewhere. And we also had the Placement Connect website for Maynooth students to find placement. So I used that to apply to a few places. And eventually, after doing, I think it was 2 interviews I did, I got a e-commerce placement with Samsung Electronics for the year. So I was working on their online store and working on sales and marketing, which I've been finding very useful now in my final year. So I am really happy I went on the year's placement.
And was that a full-time job, if you like? I mean, what was the expectation in terms of the days that you would work?
It was a full-time job, so it was Monday to Friday. But when I first started, there was an understanding that I was only new to the job or the working world to that extent. So there was some leeway for me to learn and to make sure I wrapped my head around things before I was given too much work. But by the end, I was working most weeks without help to that extent. So I was able to pick myself up to that extent.
So how do you find then, just in terms of managing in the back in the academic environment, if you like, managing the workload and, just getting all your assignments done and everything like that? Do you have any tips or advice in terms of how to cope with that?
Yeah, the main tips that I would have is just really, it sounds very simple, but until you actually do it, I find it actually helps. Is to plan your time in terms of like if you know you have an hour free, don't just think, oh, I'll think of something to do at that time. Say usually I'll think, oh, I have two assignments coming up next week. I'll spend 1 hour working on this one and then 1 hour working on the next one. Or I'll also make sure I'm spending time with my friends or I'm spending time not studying as well because I feel like if you spend too much time studying, it's almost counterproductive as well.
Yeah, there's only so much you can take in, I suppose. How, like, are there supports in
Yeah.
the university for students if you're kind of struggling a bit with any aspect of maybe not just business, but other courses as well, do you know?
Yeah, there's plenty of supports. Like even I'm not studying too much maths now, but I know there's the maths support center in the library, which my friend who studies science has used countless times to get help if he's not understanding an assignment. And as well as that, as far as I'm aware, most classes, like the lecturer is more than willing to help you out personally if you go up at the end of class, or even again, as I mentioned, the academic reps are there to help. And the Maynooth Students' Union as a whole is great for voicing students' issues if they have any and being there to support them.
Um,
Yeah.
what are your own plans then in terms of after you graduate, or have you thought that far ahead yet, Jamie?
Yeah, after I graduate now, I was looking at doing a master's degree, but if I'm honest, I just don't think I'm ready for it yet personally. So I'm looking at getting back into the working world, and it's been great because I have the Careers Connect team here in Maynooth that have been helping me with my CV, and they run all these classes to do with help giving interview tips and everything. So I'm mainly looking for a job at the moment for after my degree.
Very good. And then just any final tips or advice for any potential applicant in the CAO and just coming to Maynooth? Is there anything that springs to mind?
Yeah, the main thing I would say if you're like a CAO student considering going to Maynooth is if you can, I would definitely attend an open day only because you get a chance to see the campus and you're able to talk a bit more with the people that are doing your degree or are teaching your degree. Like in my case, if I hadn't talked to someone about business in Maynooth, I might have changed my mind and picked something else. And I'm happy so far that I've chosen to go to Maynooth, and it's also great to see the campus as well. So that would be my main advice.
Get out there and get your feet on the ground and sample the environment before you finish your CAO application. That's great. Jamie, thanks very much. Very nice to see you today.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.